This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Good morning and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Friday, April 29. In Squiz Kids Today, the world's first floating city. Dolphins go to war. Why spiders jump after kissing, and the $100,000 sneakers you can't even wear. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
There was more proof this week that when presented with a challenge, humans can actually be quite clever. As the planet warms and the effects of climate change are felt about the world, plans were unveiled this week for the first ever floating city. Built on 3 massive floating platforms, connected to each other and land by bridges, the floating city plans were revealed at the United Nations in New York City this week. The floating city will feature buildings made from lightweight materials including timber and bamboo. And in keeping with its futuristic feel, the whole place will be built to grow its own food, supply its own water, and generate its own renewable energy. Genius. Called Oceanics Busan, after the South Korean coastal city it will be built alongside, the city will initially house 12,000 people. But with plans to create another 17 floating platforms, it could grow to be home to 100,000 people. Experts are saying floating cities could be the answer to rising sea levels caused by climate change for communities who live on low-lying or coastal areas of the planet. Construction of the floating city has not yet begun, with reports saying it will likely take at least until 2025, which is not all that far off. I've stuck a link in today's episode notes to drawings of what the city could look like. It's very cool.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in the waters off Ukraine, where a crack team of dolphins has been deployed as part of Russia's war against its Central European neighbour. There were reports yesterday that Russia had sent into the battlefield military dolphins, which are dolphins specially trained to carry out military manoeuvres. According to reports, they are used during times of war to retrieve underwater objects, to look out for mines underwater, or to keep an eye out and detect any enemy divers who might be targeting Navy ships. Dolphin soldiers. Now I actually have heard it all.
Animal Kingdom.
And so to China we go, where researchers have discovered the lengths to which some male spiders will go to escape the clutches of female spiders. You see, in some species of spider, the female will eat the male after they've had a kiss and a cuddle. Sounds harsh, but life in the animal kingdom can be brutal. So why do they do that? According to scientists, because they're hungry and because they're generally bigger and because they can. Except in one particular species of spider, the communal orb-weaving spider. The male in that species has developed really strong front leg muscles, which enable it to jump away from the female as soon as they have finished snuggling up together to reproduce. Researchers reckon the post-snuggle spider jump is about the equivalent of an average-sized human leaping 500 metres. I mean, I know the idea of kissing someone might make you recoil in horror, well, for now at least, but running 500 metres away after locking lips with someone, that could be interpreted as a little bit dramatic. Because now suddenly I'm handing out relationship advice.
Pop Culture Corner.
The next time you go out shopping for trainers with your folks and they complain about how much sneakers cost, tell them about this. The latest trend to hit the shoe wear world is people spending $100,000 for shoes that don't even exist. That's right, I'm talking about NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, which in technical terms means a unique piece of digital blockchain, and which in everyday terms that you and I might understand means a digital asset that's one of a kind. In the case of this particular story, digital versions of Nike trainers have been created with their own unique skins, and people have been paying up to $100,000 to own them. Even if they are virtual shoes and therefore you can't actually wear them. Sometimes I just feel really old.
Q&A call out.
Hey kids, don't forget to get your questions in for the Prime Minister and Opposition Leader for our next Squiz Kids Q&As. With an election looming, we've asked PM Scott Morrison and Labor Party leader Anthony Albanese to take the Squiz Kids hot seat and answer any questions that you care to throw at them. What was their favourite subject at school? What was the naughtiest thing they ever did? Why do they reckon they're the best person to lead the country? You've only got until Monday to get your questions in to squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Be sure to tell us your name, age, where you're from, and whether your question is for ScoMo or Albo. The best questions for each candidate will be selected, so get busy already.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What have scientists discovered male spiders can do to escape the clutches of females trying to eat them? Yeah, that's right. Jump. Question number 2. People are spending up to $100,000 on virtual versions of what item of clothing? Yeah, that's right. They're sneakers. I'll also take trainers. Question number 3. What marine mammal, usually considered to be super friendly, has been recruited to help fight the war in Ukraine? Yeah, that's right. They're dolphins.
Shout outs.
It's April 29. Today is International Dance Day, which reminds me of one of my favourite sayings. Sing like no one's listening and dance like no one's watching. It's also a Friday, and you know what that means. Heaps of birthday shout-outs for today and over the weekend. So that means it's time to crack out the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it. And it's a happy birthday today to Karina from Brighton and Avina from Chapel Hill. And celebrating a birthday over the coming weekend, Ryan from Walpole, Ariel from Forest Lake, Andy from Vermont South, Ella from Exeter, Eliza from Canberra, Tristan from Helensvale, and Hugh from Coleroy Plateau. And because a bunch of you celebrated your birthday over the Easter holidays, we have a backlog of belated birthday shout-outs, which we've been working our way through all this week. Happy belated birthdays to Lucia from Russell Lee, Maverick and Chloe from Craigburn, Johnny from Lambton, Eloise from Shoal Bay, Owen from Airport West, Jessica and Isabel from Liverpool, Gabe from Albany Hills, Drew and Zach from Arana Hills, Eloise from Grange, Quinn from Fern Bay, Theo from Elwood, and Harley and Charlie H from Craigburn Primary School. And a special birthday shout-out finally to Miss Perkins of Class 4P at Queen Bian South Public School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again on Monday. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.